Hi, welcome to the Human Classroom. This is our first episode. I'm Kathalina, and that being said, it is my first episode, so it's probably going to be a little raw, a little imperfect, but we're also sticking with very real. I've never done a podcast before, and honestly, I'm really excited. Feels kind of right. Because this space isn't about being polished or perfect, it's about being human, as the title suggests, So, I'm a scenic designer. I'm an educator. I teach preschool and I teach college. A little bit of a weird juxtaposition there, but I'm also a PhD student and I'm studying curriculum development and instruction. And I'm specifically interested in how we design learning environments for neurodiverse students. But here's the thing. The reality is, I never planned on being a teacher. That was never on my bingo card growing up. Not even a little bit. You see, I saw how teachers were treated. I saw burnout. I saw lack of support. I saw the disrespect. I saw parents screaming at teachers. I saw principals up their butts. I saw everything and anything. I was very empathetic to my teachers. It was funny. I had a teacher once tell me after I'd graduated, "Oh, I can't remember your name. I usually remember the bad kids, but you were always kind of a goody-goody. You always did what you were supposed to. You always put a lot of extra effort into your work." And I was like, yeah, because my mom would have buried me in the backyard if I had been anything but a polite and studious student. But, that's fine. And I truly remember thinking, there is no way in hell you could pay me to be a teacher. And yet here I am. I'm 38 years old and I am teaching. And I'm designing learning. And honestly, I fucking love it. It is the best thing I've ever done. And I have never felt more like I'm where I need to be. I've always wondered why I was never on track. I've always been the non-traditional student. I've always been behind, it felt like. You see, I graduated high school. I had high grades. I couldn't go to college immediately. I became a mom at the age of 24. I then went back to college. It took me a couple years to get my associate's degree because I did it in chunks. Then I realized nobody was going to hire me with just an AFA in theater. And then I was like, you know what? I moved to Georgia. I was trying to co-parent and raise my kids. And then I was like, fine, I'll enroll and get my bachelor's because at least then nobody will tell me, hey, you don't have 4 years of college. And then I had a professor who was like, you realize you could become a professor at a university if you get your master's in theater because, we're terminal at an MFA. And I was like, okay, so I put my nose to the grindstone and I thought of nothing else. But also there's another big picture to why I am sitting here in this seat working through a PhD now. Because I thought I was done at a master's too. I was like, there's no way you could fucking pay me to go back to college. Holy crap. What a ride. And then I was like, you know what? I didn't get what I needed out of my master's for what I want to do. And I started looking and I'm like, well, I guess it's a PhD now. And here I sit at 38 years old having done more schooling in my life than I've done anything else. But there's this other big reason why I'm at this intersection. A big part of my why I'm here, why this work matters to me, why I'm so passionate about it, is my oldest son. Now, I'm a mom of 4 by circumstance. I gave birth to 2 of them, and now I'm the bonus mom to 2 other beautiful boys. I have 3 sons and a daughter. But my oldest, out of all 4 of them, is my biological son, and he was diagnosed at 3.5 with autism. If I were to say that that journey was easy, I would be lying to you. But being his parent has completely changed how I understand the world, how I understand learning, how I understand myself. Because when you're sitting on a bathroom floor in the middle of the night crying because you feel like you are failing your kid, because you don't know how to open doors for them, windows for them, whatever the end to that area of their life should be. When you watch your child navigate systems that aren't designed for them in mind, you start to see things differently. You see yourself differently. You see every interaction with the world differently. And you start to notice others who are not like everybody else. And then you start to see that, let's be real here, every single person is individually not like anybody else. But we want to systematize everything. We want to group them. We want to classify them. We want to dehumanize the aspects that make us individuals. And so I realize I come into this work from this very lived experience. This is not some abstract thing for me. It's personal. It's long-term. It's shaped by my experience as a student, a parent of a neurodiverse child, and as somebody who has never recognized and dealt with the label that was put on me at 7 years old. I, too, am a neurodiverse learner. I have ADHD. I've struggled with it all of my life. But I had to get over it, as they so said in the 90s. My parents didn't want to medicate me, and that's fine. There are holistic ways to deal with this. This podcast isn't about whether you want to pursue those methods or not, whether I believe in them or not. I'm not a doctor. But I have a perspective. I notice things. I question things. I challenge different systems because I see how they impact real people over time. But I'm also constantly learning. I'm not infallible. And I have the room for growth. You know, I always tell people I will stop learning when I'm dead. I enjoy learning. So it's not a podcast about me having all the answers. Quite the opposite, actually. I would love to keep learning more. This is really about me thinking out loud, asking better questions, and staying open to being challenged and conversational about this topic, excited, revitalized about new and innovative things that everybody in the teaching world and psychology world and neurodiversity world are finding, because every day somebody finds something new and cool and inventive. So if you're listening and something doesn't sit right with you, reach out, email me, ask me questions, push back a little bit. You can't change my lived experience. You can't tell me, well, I mean, you can. You don't have to agree with my style of parenting or my form of how I've dealt with the last 15 years of raising my kids. But you can definitely ask me questions. Why did I do it that way? I might not have a good answer for you, but I will get back to you. I will answer you. Because it's not about me proving anything. It's about building something. My perspective just has a different pathway. Honestly, you know, my branding, my LLC for my scenic design work is called The Scenic Route. I was moved by Robert Frost's poem in the 6th grade, The Road Not Taken. And it seems like that is the exact stamp my life has had. And so my art, my scenic design work is The Scenic Route. And it's because my perspective is not just shaped by education. I've worked in restaurants, retail, management, on farms, in community spaces. I've been a 4-H leader. I've worked with kids in different settings, adults in different settings. And I've spent most of my life navigating learning in one form or another. I've been a student longer than I've been anything else in this world. So when I talk about systems, I'm not just talking about schools. I'm talking about access to how people experience structure, expectation, learning within school, careers, everything. You start to realize something, when you think about these systems. You start to realize about a lot of what we call learning isn't actually designed for the people. Like I said before, it's really about systems. But you see, again, it's not just schools, it's classrooms, it's workplaces, it's training programs. Anywhere where we expect people to fit into some kind of box or structure. And we do this without asking if that structure actually works for each person, individual people. We think that we can classify people in groups. So this podcast is built around that shift. It's not about lowering standards or making everybody fit this. I mean, gosh, you know how people now use the term snowflake and they say it with sarcasm, or they're like, oh, because everybody's so special, let's just give everybody a participation trophy. We all hear it. We hear the language. But the fact is, we're all individual humans who do things differently. We gather information and learn and retain. Nobody does it exactly the same. So it's about removing these barriers. It's about removing these labels and this sarcasm structured around individuality. It's about people. It's about how we can reach them. And so some episodes are going to be personal. Some episodes are going to break down the research that I'm doing in a really real, tactile, tangible, multimodal, and textural way that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, email me. Like I said, ask me questions. Some of it comes from my own work with curriculum design, professional development, and things that I'm actively building, testing, doing case studies and pilot studies on, and eventually my own dissertation. I want to bring in other teachers at some point. If you ever think that you might want to be somebody who has something to say, I don't give a crap if you're a big name. I don't really give a shit where you teach. Preschool class in the middle of Iowa, Yale, some school in Florida. I don't really care. Overseas, I want to hear from real people. I want to involve real people when the time comes. Because these are people who are just like you and me, and they are doing the real work. Because the more I'm in this field, the more I realize it's not just academic. It's emotional, it's cultural, and it's so deeply human. So, if you're like me and you've ever felt like learning didn't work the way it's supposed to, or if you're someone trying to build better spaces for your students and you feel like you are running into walls, you're getting discouraged, if you've lost that oomph that you had when you were a young teacher, you're in the right place. This is the human classroom, and I am really glad you're here. In the next episode, we're going to talk about a moment that completely changed how I think about learning and how one learner reshaped everything I thought I knew. Until then, have fun. Do something that makes you smile. Get outside and touch grass if you need to. But I look forward to our next session together.